In the next 5 minutes, we'll start off this discussion on government, and we're going to look at 20 questions, 20 past questions on this topic, on this subject, and in the next 15 to 20, 30 minutes, we should be done. We're going to look at questions and answer on 20 questions on government, and then we'll see some of those questions that you might most likely see in your examination. So let's wait for some other persons to come online. In the next 10 to 20 minutes, in the next 3-4 minutes, we'll start off the program properly. I just have 2 participants. Maybe I didn't properly advertise this, that's why. So let's comment properly. We're going to go through 10 questions, as I said earlier on, 20 questions. And these questions, we are going to look at questions that you might most likely see in your exams, questions on the subject government. So we're going to look at the first question. If you are used to our Facebook group, most of these questions have been posted on the Facebook group, and they are the questions that you might most likely see when you sit for your examination. So the first question says that citizenship can be acquired by, the first option there is nationalism, indigenization, neutralization, and communalism. If you look at that option properly, you come to see that the best option is neutralization. Why is it by neutralization? Because people normally, whenever they are born in a place, they are the nationals of that place. And people naturally are indigenous of where they are born in. But when you go to a new place and you want to get citizenship, you have to apply as a natural citizen to that inhabitant. So the best option is option C, which is uh, naturalization. Now let's look at the next question. The next question says, in the unitary system of government, power is derived from. The options are a rigid constitution, B, the judiciary, C, the executive head of state, and D, one state of authority. Remember, that place says in a unitary system of government. A unitary system of government is a system of government where we have only one source of authority, and such authority comes from the president. So the best option is option D, which is one source of authority. And that authority comes only from the president of that country. Now, question number 3 says the power allocated to central government in a federation is primarily contained in the A, central legislative list, B, exclusive legislative list, C, residual legislative list, and D, concurrent legislative lists. Now, the power allocated to the central government. In a unitary government, we might have the central government, and the central government is the government where you have the president. Now, the power is allocated in the central government is contained in what we call the exclusive legislative list. And in such list, only the president gives order on what happens as regard all items that are found in that list. That is the option. So the best option is option B, which is the exclusive legislative list. Now let's look at question number 4. It says the constitution is said to be rigid if it is if it A can only be interpreted by the military, B is written by difficult authors, C cannot be amended by the executive, D has cumbersome provisions for its amendment. Now, what do you think? There says a constitution is said to be rigid if the best option we have there is option C. Do you notice what that option C is? Maybe in our next class, we are going to look at how we can streamline this so that people can be able to see all the questions on screen, and that will be very, very better, and it will be better. It will at least help you see some of these questions as you answer this question. This is our first live stream anyway. Now the best question for that question for that the best option for that question is option D, which has which says a constitution is said to be rigid if it has cumbersome provisions for its amendment. The amendment is not cannot be easily done by the Federal Legislative Council. Such amendments cannot be easily done. Such provisions in the Constitution cannot be easily amended. That's when we say a Constitution is very rigid. So for those students taking government, this is some of those questions you might most likely see in your exams. Now let's look at question number 5. Remember, I said we're going to go through 20 questions. So we will be looking at question number 5, and that question number 5 says, which of the following political party in Nigeria formed the opposition in the House of Representatives during the First Republic? Which of the following party in Nigeria formed the opposition in the House of Representatives during the First Republic? A, NCNC and AG, B, NCNC and UMBC, C, MPC and AG, and D, AG and UMBC. Now, what's the best option? We have the best option is what? Remember the question, which of the following political parties in Nigeria formed the opposition in the House of Representatives during the First Republic? That's a very, very long time ago. And if you don't read properly, you might most likely not be able to answer this question. Now, the best option is option D, which is the political party AG and UNBC. Now, take note of that. AG and UNBC. Those are the two political parties that formed the opposition in the House of Representatives. Now, let's consider the next option. The next option says option 6 says option 6 says red tapism in the civil service refers to red tapism in the civil service refers to A, the use of red tapes. A, the use of red tapes. A, the use of red tapes in A, the use of red tapes. A, the use of red tape in documents. B, slowness of action. C, we have the cooperation between civil servants and politicians. And D, we have and D will have the politicization of the civil service. We have the politicization of the civil service. The politicization of the civil service. So the best option there is B. Remember the question. The question says red tapism in the civil service refers to slowness of what? Slowness of action. So when you hear that word red tapism, it means slowness of action. Now the next question, question number 7, says one of the functions of political party is to A, make laws, declare a state of emergency, C, interpret the constitution, and D, aggregate interests. One of the functions of political parties is to do what? The best option there is to what? Aggregate what? Interest. The political parties don't make laws. Political parties don't declare states of emergency. Political party don't interpret the constitution. The only option there is option D, which is that they aggregate what? They aggregate interest. They get people's interest into their parties. Now, the next option we're going to look at is question 8. Africa became the centerpiece of Nigeria's foreign policy under the regime of A. Tafawa Balewa, B. Yakubu Gowon, C. Murtala Muhammad, and D. Shehu Shakari. Now, you need a lot of research for you to answer this question. And the best option is option C, which is what? Murtala Muhammad. And as a government student, you need to try as much as possible to get to know most of these things because they are going to surface during your exams. Question number 9 says, which of the following is not an OPEC member state? The Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries. Which of the following is not a member state? A. Nigeria, B. Indonesia, C. Venezuela, and D. Ghana. So what's the best option? The option is option D, Ghana. Ghana is not a petroleum exporting country. Now let's look at question number 10. Question number 10 says, which of the following is permanent in international politics? 1. A. Bilateral relationship. B. Economic aid. C. Friendship. D. permanent interest. Which of the following is permanent in international politics? The best option is A, which has to do with what? Bilateral relationship. Now we're going to look at question number 11. Question number 11 is, government is different from other political organizations because A, it has legitimate power over citizens. B, its officials have fixed term of office. C, it can punish those who violate its rules. And D, it is made up of elected officials. Now remember the questions. It says government is different from other political organizations in one sense. The best option is A because it has legitimate power over what? Citizens. Once you become a political government official, the citizens have given you the power to act on their behalf. So they have given you the legitimate power to act over them. And that is why the government is different from any other political organization you can think about. We've gone halfway and we're looking at question number 12. The official report of proceedings in Parliament is known as what? A. Hazard. Hansard. B. Diary of events. C. Gazette. D. Summary of proceedings. What is the best option? It's not Gazette, and it can't be summary of proceedings in the Parliament. It cannot be diary of events. The best option is what? Hazard. Now, what is the meaning of Hansard? I want to give that to you as an assignment. Go and check the spelling, the meaning of Hansard. Hansard. That's the best option. We're going to give you this question. I'll produce a video attached with these questions and the answers so that you can be able to see these questions and then see the answers to these questions. Now, during the Second Republic in Nigeria, the branch of the legislature responsible for ratifying the presidential nominee for appointment was the A. Senate, B. Council of State, C. House of Representatives, D. Public Service Commission. During the Second Republic in Nigeria, the branch of the legislature responsible for ratifying presidential nominees for appointment was the A is the what? The Senate. The Council of State only comes for a meeting when crucial matters are needed to be discussed. It is not Public Service Commission. It cannot be House of Representatives. Then the best option is the what? The Senate of the Federal Republic. Now, question number 14 says the simple plurality electoral system is often criticized because A, the ruling party may lose the election. B, the winner may not pull an absolute majority. C, it works against all opposition parties. And D, it is easy to rig. The simple plurality electoral system is often criticized because it is very easy to rig election in such electoral system. Now let's look at question number 15. In the Igbo political system, authority was shared among A, men and women with Ozo title, B, all age group and warrant chief, C, elders of the community or four title holders, and C, indigenous culture people. The answer is, remember the question, in the Igbo political system, authority was shared among among title holders and what? And age group. So the best option is option D, which is what? Indigenous call, which is title holders and age what? And age group. That is the indigenous culture of the people. Now let's look at question number 16. One of the legacies of pre-colonial Nigeria destroyed by the British was the peace and harmony in the land. B, nation's farmland, D, education of the local people, and D, indigenous culture of the people. One of the legacies of pre-colonial Nigeria destroyed by the British was the indigenous culture of the Nigerian people. They destroyed the indigenous culture of the Nigerian words of the Nigerian people. That is what they destroyed. And then they brought in British education and religion into our system. Now let's look at question number 17. Remember, I said we'll be looking at 20 questions. Question 17 says the 1979 Constitution established the A. Federal Civil Defense Corps, D. National Human Rights Commission, C. Federal Road Safety Commission, D. National Population Commission. The best option is option D, which is what? The National Population Commission. Now let's look at the third to the last question, 18. The author Richard's Constitution was designed to last for how many years? A, 6 years, B, 12 years, C, 5 years, D, 9 years. Remember, that was the first constitution that was being practiced, that was being used uh, uh, immediately after independence. The Otto Richards Constitution. It was designed to last for how many years? It was it was designed to last for 9 years. And after that, another constitution will be the constitution that will take over. Now, finally, we want to look at question 19. One of the reasons advanced for the overthrow of the Gowon regime was its failure to A, promote some officers of the armed forces, B, honor the promise to hand over power, C, create new states, D, try politician intention. The reason was because the head of state then, Gowon, refused to honor the promise to hand over power at the right time. As a result of that, his regime was what? Was overthrown. Now, the next question now says, and the final question, the most important challenge facing the Fourth Republic is the need to develop Nigeria. C, how to develop Nigerian social institutions. B, C, how to deal with the military, and D, the successful conduct of the 2003 election. The most important challenge facing the Fourth Republic, is how to develop Nigerian social institution. That is B, the best option. Now, in this stream, we have been able to see 20 government questions that all students sitting for government should bear in mind and note. We'll be doing a video that will show you most of these questions and their answer. I want you to look forward to that video so that you can be able to practice these questions and get to know more about them. We'll be looking at the Life Changer novel, questions from the Life Changer novels in our next live stream. And that will be on Monday. Don't forget to join us and make sure you keep that date in mind. Don't miss it. Thanks so much for coming up. We truly appreciate you. And we look forward to seeing you come live with us as we revise some of the subjects you'll be taking in the forthcoming JAMB examination. Thanks so much. And if you have not subscribed to this channel, you try and do that so that you'll be notified when most of the time we'll be going live stream. Thanks so much. I'll see you some other time. Mhm.